I've just done a little bit of research, gone onto the Design Boom website and found just a couple of chairs there, just to, perhaps to investigate that as a piece of inspiration. And I've started just modelling up something here with a bit of blue foam. Now, all of you are familiar with using blue foam, right? Yeah? Okay, so you're no strangers to cutting and moulding and shaping this, which is why I've actually just done that in advance of us starting this to save time on the video. And what I've done is just gone for a simple process here. I've designed this just using a modelling process, but not drawing. And I'm just going to take this piece of blue foam, put a bit of double-sided on the outside of it. Hopefully that will stick down okay. There, just cut that off. Okay, trim that down the side. Do the same thing again. So at the moment, I'm using this as an idea generation method. So I'm more playing with the proportion and the form to get some ideas down. And then as the form develops, I can start to resolve some of the fabrication issues and of course the ergonomic issues. These two side profiles here and here. I'm just going to glue that onto the side, and of course you're all capable of cutting out a cardboard side profile. Okay, so I've got the basis for a chair there. We'll look at the back. I'm just going to put a little fin on the back there. I think I'll use a bit of super glue for that. I hope it doesn't melt the foam. Shouldn't do. See where this is going. And I've taken this profile, this piece of card here, and I've cut the scores in the back and bent it around for a backrest. I'm going to attach that like so. And the preparation for this just took a matter of minutes beforehand. Just playing with that, and I've got a very effective but to scale form. Okay. Now, in terms of manufacturing that, we're way off resolving those sorts of issues. But in the first instance, what I'm doing is generating some ideas using modelling. Okay, so I can go back to that. Looking at the tools here, I've got this kind of Stanley knife blade, which is really good for cutting cards because I can push down hard on it. I've got this longer blade, which I really like for cutting through blue foam because you can actually use it a bit like a saw. Okay, so I'm just going to cut through that. Okay, cut the size I want, measure that. So I'm measuring it, getting it in proportion. Sometimes students come to me and say, is there a book I can look up where I can look up the dimensions of chairs? And I just simply say, get a tape measure and measure the chair you're sitting on. You can get some sort of idea of what dimension a chair should be. Okay? And the ones that you're sitting on in here are absolutely fine for providing that information. Okay, so I'm just taking a bit of blue foam, starting with this as my inspiration. I need to cut that back a little bit. My inspirational model. Bring that back. Bring that back. So I'm shaping the foam. You've got to have an angle at the back of the chair to make sure it stays stable. Side profile there. So by marking in with the knife, I can just get it the same size, whereas if I mark with the pencil, the danger it'll end up bigger. Two side profiles again. Now I'm kind of making this up as I go along, okay, because I'm using model making as a kind of a sketching design development process. Okay, so you can see the way that the chair is starting as a kind of front part of the chair. So I want to play around with a few things here. Can I have a pair of pliers? I've got a pair of pliers there. And thank you. Just going to So you can sort of see what's going on here. Right, angle of that's makes it a bit more. Bear in mind, this is just a sketch model, so I don't want to be too precious about things going wrong with it. It's just a test piece. Okay, I'll just get a simple simple back on this, but of course it'll take more time to design it. It's just speed. That'll stick in a sec. So you just get a very rough model there, again, we're unable to resolve the issues of how we're going to manufacture this. Okay, but as a bit of just generation of form, it's not a bad place to start, so we can actually sketch these out. Alright? So hopefully that's given you something to get started on and ways in which you can actually start to develop a form. But it is important that you work to scale. You try to work to scale. So if you don't know what the measurements of a chair needs to be, get a tape measure and measure the chair that you're sitting on. And that will give you the dimensions that you need. You've got to get the angles right. So you can think about when you lean back on the chair, is it going to fall over? Okay, now that took me a few minutes to make. I would expect you to be churning these out and changing it each time. So you don't have to make something that's completely different to that. Think, well, what would I change about that next time? How would I do that differently? Could I maybe make the front leg thinner? Yeah, could I make the back taller? Could I put the back legs apart? Could I put them on the outside? And make that version of it, because it doesn't take long to do. So it's an iterative design process, changing it bit by bit each time, so you have a series of models that show your development of form. Okay? That's what we're looking for at this stage in the project, quite informal models. And then we'll start getting down to the detail as the project moves on. So this afternoon, I don't think it's unreasonable to ask you for at least 10 of these. Yeah, I don't think so. If that took me, what, all of
17 minutes.
17 minutes. There we are, perfectly timed there. 17 minutes to make this one and assemble that one. Okay, asking you to make 10 of these is not too much to do. All right, any questions?